This is Stacy with Stacy, Slade, and 3 of my dogs who are very excited. Come here, guys. Come here. Very excited to be on video today. We've got Ash, Frenzy, and Deuce back there. So what we're going to talk about today, we are very animated about Flexi leads. So this is what I mean by a Flexi lead. The extendable leashes, retractable leashes, I don't know, there's lots of names for them. So I used to use these, but I will tell you with one of my dogs, they did not work, and I have not used them since. I haven't used them for over 6 years. And I'll tell you a little bit, it's just more of a public service announcement about Flexi leads, of where they're good and where they're not good, and when you should use them and when you should never use them. If you have one and you have a big dog, pay very close attention to what I'm going to share, because the other 80% of the population who do not use Flexi leads would really love for you to hear this. One is, when you're using a Flexi lead, you do not have control of your dog, okay? So if your dog is this far away from you and all you have is this handle, you don't have control. These ropes and cords, Ash is gonna go chew on it, because that's about what we think about Flexi leads in this house. Come here, Ash. Let's not chew on it though. When your dog is that far away from you, you do not have control. The best control you have of a dog is when they're right here next to you and you have their collar and you have the leash and you can hold them close to your body. That is control. With this, you still have 6 inches from the leash to the collar if you have one like this that Ash stole from me. So this one, from my hand to the collar, you're looking at about almost a foot, maybe 8 to 10 inches. Okay, this one you really have no control, because your dog can get all around this 2-foot radius with this leash. Okay, you can grab the collar, sure, but you still don't have control in your leash, and now you've got this big huge hunkin' thing. You can't grab leash and have control of your dog. So Flexis are not for when you're going to be around people or other dogs. Okay, they're not for going to the vet, they're not for going to the pet store, they're not for walking in the park where there's other dogs and your dog can pull you. Okay, have you done that before, where you go flying? I did that twice with the dog and I put him away. The dog did not understand that he had a radius, because they're really not fair for young dogs. They don't teach them how to walk on a leash because they don't know if they have this much space, they don't know if they have that much space. So they never really quite learn how to walk on a loose lead. Even if you lock them, now what happens if you need to bring your dog back, your hand's out here and you have no control. Control is right here with your body, and so you'd have to put it on lock. Ashman, come here, buddy. You'd have to grab the collar and this, and then you've got an extra apparatus when you really could be holding onto your dog, treating them, engaging with them, trying to get them to re-engage with what you want them to do, not what's most excited. So where these are applicable and where you should use, where you can use Flexi leads, are when you're walking your dog in a big wide open field. Ash, let's not chew. On a wide open field, and you are not going to run into any other dogs, not going to see other people, and your dog understands that they can't pull you over and take off running, and you go down, your rotator cuff gets pulled out, and worst case scenario, you let go and your dog is going out, and you can't catch these things because they're bouncing, okay, and they're retracting, and I just don't recommend these. For little dogs, same thing. Your dog is not in control. It's going all which ways, and you can't pull it back beyond a few feet back into you if it's locked. And if it's not locked, God forbid your dog go up to another dog that's not friendly or that gets in trouble. So when you're using a Flexi Flexi, ask yourself, am I going to see people or other dogs? If you are, put the Flexis aside and use a flat leash. What I mean by a flat leash is a 6-foot leather, nylon, rubber, biothane leash where you can wrap it up in your hands and you get your dog right there so you can hold on to it. These are the leashes that I use on a daily basis. This is Ash's. He's waiting for me to put it on. It is a rolled nylon collar. Okay, it's a rolled nylon training collar, and I like a rubber leash that's grippy. It doesn't come out of my hands even when it's wet. It's soft so I can hold on to it because he's strong. But it's 6 foot. He can't go further than 6 feet. What I use on my girls who pull a little bit less or just are a little bit less of a strong dog is a limited slip collar by Mes Amis. Mes Amis online. I'll leave the website in the comments. So I put it fairly tight on them. So this is tight around them, and so if I need their attention, I have a little bit of a correction, but it does not choke them. So I love these collars and leashes. They are my favorite. If I have a larger boy, I use these. So the next thing I wanted to chat with about is people ask me harnesses versus collars. 100% of the time, I use collars and a leash, Ash, to walk my dogs. Ash. Because I have control. See, immediately he's engaged. He knows I'm with him. Get in. Come on, get in. So I have him right here. If somebody were coming with another dog, I could either hold his collar, I can hold him right here, and I have the other end of the leash. He can't go but 6 inches from me, and I have control. And I have him close. You have leverage when your arms are as close to you as possible. You can plant your feet, and you've got him right here, okay? So I just did that for control. You can itch. When you put a harness on a dog and you use a retractable leash, you have 0 control. The dog is in control. You don't have control of the dog, the head, because a harness doesn't give you any control of the head, and the head controls the animal. And you have no control because the Flexi lead goes every which way. So I would say never use a Flexi lead with a harness. Never use a Flexi lead if you're going to be around any other dogs or humans. And a harness, in my world, what I only use a harness for is when my dogs are going to pull something in tracking or in carting. These guys are bred to pull carts. If you've seen any of my other videos, you know that they pull carts with a harness on because that gives them the force of their chest to pull forward. That's what a harness is for. That's how a harness is built, is to use the shoulders to pull. So harnesses were originally made for draft horses and draft dogs to pull carts, to pull wagons. That's what a harness's function is for. If you don't want your dog pulling more, I strongly suggest taking it off a harness. The no-pull harnesses that pinch their elbows together so they can't go anywhere. Just think about if that was on you every day, all the time when you were walking, your arms would start to, the muscles, you lose the muscle mass that gives you the breadth of your shoulders, and it would inhibit how you walk. So those are dangerous in the sense that they can make a dog not use their body the way it was intended, and you're altering their structure, their musculature, and how they use themselves. If you need a little more control, you can use a training collar. I use these guys for the dog show world. It just gives you a little bit more control. It's a little more targeted. There is a correction on this, obviously, but it's not a prong collar, and it's a training collar that we've used for decades training dogs. But I don't typically use them on my dogs when I'm walking because, oh, hi friends, they're road bumps. Because I can control him with this, and this gives me more of a handle because it's a thicker rolled collar. But it does have the correction because it doesn't have a stop, a limited slip like it does for the girls. So I'm happy to answer any questions. This is a hot topic. I wanted to share where I came in on both of these topics with flexies and harnesses. I would never suggest anybody get a harness to walk a dog on. If your dog is pulling you and you need help, I would strongly suggest working with a trainer on working with them to engage back on you. There are videos in my playlist on general dog training on how to get a dog to get engaged back up with you and be more important than everything else. If you have a reactive dog, work with a trainer on engage, disengage, and you being more rewarding, because you don't want to be put in a dangerous situation. You don't want to use equipment that isn't going to help your cause and help you have more control of your dog. Happy to answer any questions. This is a tough topic because there is no one size fits all. I've raised a lot of dogs. I've worked and trained with a lot of dogs, and these two types of leashes and collars, the limited slip that only goes to there, or the rolled training collar that I have control and correction with, but it's soft around his neck, are 95% of the time what I use and 100% of the time what I use on my dogs. Hope that helps answer some questions. Happy to answer any other questions or do a follow-up video if anything wasn't clear. Happy training. Keep control of your dog for your sake, for your dog's sake, and for everyone else's sake who don't want your dog in their lap or your dog in their dog's face. Happy training. Please subscribe and feel free to share my videos. Thank you.